issue a statement with your request.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. However much I may not be very much satisfied with some of the responses given. On the first item, they have tried to answer the question of the mission in which the officer Nyamato was involved in. Yes, he was not destined to Haiti, but the discussion and the agenda of his trip had to do with sending our police officer to Haiti, which I do believe is open for a wider discussion. On the second and third question, Honorable Speaker, Nyamato passed on sometimes towards mid of February. His body was received in Kenya and buried in mid-March, a month later. I attended the burial. It was right in my village. Honorable Speaker, as we speak today, a month later after the burial, the family is yet to receive the autopsy report. I didn't seek a statement on who did what. My statement was on what was the cause of the death of Inspector Nyamato. So if we are saying that 2 months later, the government does not know what killed its officer, whether it was a heart attack, whether it was a stroke, whether it was poisoning, that is all we want to know. What led to the death of Inspector Nyamato? Mr. Speaker, 2 months down the road, the government is waiting for a response from the United States of America. This leaves a lot of questions, more than the answers given. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Raso, do you have the autopsy report?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I understand the concerns of the Honorable Member, but I think the issue that we both must understand, this officer died in a foreign country, where that information of autopsy may not necessarily be released to the government, but even if that is done, the person who must receive the information first is the family. I think the response by the Honorable Minister is very clear, that we must respect that the family must be given this information in confidence. But as it were, we even spoke to the CS that is in contact with the Kenyan embassy in Washington, so that they are able to get this autopsy report. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Wanda.
You know, this saga, Honorable Speaker, surrounding the death of Inspector Nyamato, raises a lot more fundamental issues, not just about Nyamato now, but any other Kenyan officer who in future might find themselves in a similar situation. Honorable Speaker, I think the relevant persons, through the chair, should take this matter a bit more seriously. You know, Honorable Speaker, it is thoroughly agonizing for a family to lose a loved one, and 3 months now almost, nobody is telling them what caused his death. You know, that is simple thing the Honorable Gifaro is asking for. And the question of what took Inspector Nyamato to the Washington DC is not yet addressed. Because, Honorable Speaker, Nyamato was a fairly junior officer by all standards. So the country, this of all the family, deserves full disclosure. Even if we talk about national security issues, but we deserve full disclosure at what was the role that Inspector Nyamato, a fairly junior officer, going to play in Washington DC, if not Haiti. These are questions that have to be answered now or later, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, Dado.
Thank you very much.